Nero, the unexpected yet unwanted son of Virgil, coming from that one mistake the motivated one forgot about a long time ago. First introduced in Devil May Cry 4 to some pretty weak fan reception. I mean, after all, Dante did steal the show in that game. But he was a lot more liked in Devil May Cry 5, becoming his own character in that title, starting the should he or should he not be the new pro tag. Hello, it's the Devil Joe, back again with a brand new video, and today, as a Dante Supremacist, I'll be going over my thoughts on Nero's place in the Devil May Cry series. Do I think he should take the torch from Dante, or should he be axed from the rest of the franchise? I'll start off by saying this: as a Dante Supremacist, I don't really think that Nero is dead weight. Before anyone comes at me with them pitchforks and pistols, I have a few reasons as to why he should stick around in these games. Trust me, they're legit. We're about to get into them right now. First off, deadweight is needed because of that gameplay. Nero introduced a couple of key mechanics a lot of us DMC fans play around with from time to time. I'm talking about Exceed, Max Act, Buster Arm included. When it comes to the Red Queen, igniting the flaming sword takes as much skill and timing as a royal block. Okay, it wasn't that tight in DMC4, but Exceed is still a skill-based damage buff that can make Nero's existing melee toolkit look a lot more stylish than it already does. It doesn't hurt that burning demons alive with the throttle sword is cool as fuck. Then we get that Buster Arm. Devilbringer is Devil May Cry's own version of a grab move. Most fighting games have that. The first hack and slash to have any sort of a grab was God of War. I'm talking about the Blades of Chaos and the up close and personal slams, leading Itsuno to add these grab mechanics, handing it over to the edgy teen who regularly spazzes out in mass fits of rage, changing up animations depending on each enemy type, dragging far off enemies towards him. Hell, there are even the counter grabs that take almost the same timing as a royal block, dealing way more damage than the standard grabs on bosses. Now, some of y'all might have been saying this since 2008, why not hand these over to Dante? Well, dear viewer, while the wacky woohoo pizza man is violent towards demons, his method of violence is a lot different to Nero's. He's flamboyant style incarnate, relying on speed, rapid fire, constant variation, intense dexterity and timing. You're playing as a suave jack-of-all-trades master of all type character, so obviously Dante will control a lot like a fighter jet. Most of his moves require you to stay close to the enemies without them moving away from you. He's packing a lot more tools that require timing and risk-taking, while Nero, on the other hand, is all about fucking shit up, on the offensive at all times, throwing demons around, smacking them with the Red Queen in hand, and many bouts of frustration because of that late child support payment, and full sapping Kyrie away, reminding me of a peculiar Greek Spartan.
Zeus, your son has returned! I bring the destruction of Olympus!
Ah yes, the ghost of Sparta, Nero's indirect inspiration when it comes to overall combat philosophy. A lot of Kratos' moves are rageful bouts of aggression. Sure, the attacks are graceful and spinny. On the contrary, they are crowd sweepers that can deal crazy amounts of damage. The other weapons you get mostly prioritize crowd control and damage. Keyword here, mostly. Plus grabs and fatalities, those properties bled into Nero's gameplay. I mean, after all, he was created in 2008. At that time, God of War craze was a thing, so the new Devil May Cry character was sort of Kratos-fied, having moves that emphasize damage, crowd control, chaos, most of all pro wrestling grabs and slams. Not only making him quite different to the other two Sparta boys, it keeps Nero a beginner-friendly character that new DMC players can play around with, while getting the hang of DMC combat for the first time, giving veteran players new tech to experiment with. I see his inclusion as a playable character to be an absolute win. It even makes other DMC games feel like you're buying multiple games into one. Wanna play as the stylish, suave jack-of-all-trades who has a billion tricks and combinations to try? Dante is your guy. Wanna be a motivated speed demon who can tank the entire game through precise elegance? Virgil is the storm approaching just for you. Wanna play a game with the exaggerated swagger of a moody punk teen? Enraged by the cool uncle calling him dead weight? Nero is the perfect choice. I just hope that the multiple missions are selectable like how they were in Resident Evil 6 next time around. I paid for Wacky Woohoo Pizza Man Simulator, damn it! So I better go on that adventure. I hope it's the longest one in DMC 6. My other line of reasoning as to why Deadweight should stick around is because of his characterization. Sure, in gameplay and cutscenes he might seem like a Dante ripoff, making jokes at demons trying to capture DMC3 Dante's charm, who's literally just an angry punk kid, casually flipping the bird up towards anything with a pulse that slightly pisses him off, his own pops included. But underneath all of that, he has a few human experiences that Dante and Virgil will never, ever get the chance to experience. Like a healthier familial upbringing plus his own relationship with Kyrie. Here's the thing, Dante and Virgil, despite having a relatively decent childhood, growing up with Eve as the only parent, the way she died led the Sparta boys down a road of fending for themselves, with one embracing more of his human side, but he closes himself off on purpose, because anyone he's close to gets killed off by being associated with Sparta's kin. Hence why he tried to get the kid Patty to dislike him, clearly not working later on. Hey, he's even looking for an excuse to skip that birthday party of hers, only choosing to stay locked in as a demon hunter, using jokes to hide his own pain. While Virgil over here fully embraced his demonic side due to that trauma, thinking Dante and Eva left him behind, despite the poor woman trying to look for him in the mansion that's already burning down, leading to his motivation for absolute power at any cost, even if it meant getting into a one-night stand and running away from child support. Nero, on the other hand, had a relatively stable childhood, as stable one can have being a bastard child raised in a cult-worshipping family, hunting demons for said cult. The point is he had a pair of foster parents to somewhat nurture the poor kid, not to mention Credo as his older brother, which means he had more of a solid support system than Dante, or Virgil has ever gotten like ever, making Nero a lot more open to interactions with humans. I mean, he secured a pretty long-term relationship with Kyrie. I won't be surprised if they were already a married couple by DMC5's time period. Trust me, y'all won't find Dante and Virgil getting into them damn relationships. They'd rather spend an eternity in hell fighting demons and each other, because of how closed off they are to deal with humans. Plus, they're too Sigma for that shit. I mean, and before the nightmare, Nero is helping Kyrie manage a damn orphanage, when he ain't busy hunting down demons for a paycheck. While I was reading Deadly Fortune for this video, I found Nero to be almost as power-hungry as Virgil. Both have an inferiority complex, that's for sure. But remember, Virgil used it to further his own ends, obtaining power no matter who gets caught in the crossfire. Nero, on the other hand, wanted to get more power to protect those family members of his. Let's be real, whenever he got a boost in power, it was because a loved one was in danger. Fun fact, when he first got his Devil Bringer, it was an order job he had to interrupt because Kyrie was gonna get killed. His normal arm broke, then the devil arm got manifested. Not to mention fixing the Yamato came from wanting to save Kyrie. It also came from the burden he felt for not saving Kyrie and Kratos' parents, who were his foster folks too, which is the very reason why he wanted to join the Order of the Sword in the first place. Not because he was a devoted follower or anything, he thought that religion was absolute horseshit. He just wanted to get strong enough to protect Kyrie and other family members of his, leading to a further Virgil position. Still, he wound up failing to save Kratos. The dude was a bit caught up, but it was this feeling of powerlessness which led him to be the one to bring peace to the Sparta boys' almost endless fights. Or at the very least, they're not as stabby as they used to be. If anything, that alone is one hell of an achievement. Not gonna lie, giving the Deadweight some more time to grow into his own by the time DMC5 ended, I thought to myself, well shit, they turned Nero from the Robin of DMC to Devil May Cry's Nightwing. Dante is still the franchise's Batman. Because A, Nero found a much better support system than Dante did to process a lot of his trauma, making him more open to human interactions, even accepting help from other parties like V and Nico. I'm not saying Dante is entirely cold or more of an evil loose cannon. These goddamn takes are trash as fuck on Twitter. Dante is empathetic. He does indeed value human life. He's the first one to tell you that humans have something that demons don't. He gets help from Lady and Trish at times. But ever since he was a kid, he was on his own. Most of the time. Whenever he got close to anybody, they'd wind up dying because demons were hunting him down. Later on in life, it made him put on a cold persona when he's not hunting any demons, wanting to be disliked on purpose so that no one is associated with him, preferring to hit up dangerous jobs on his own without any help from Lady and Trish. He doesn't want his friends to wind up dead. Here in DMC5, he looked devastated to see him on death's door. So like Batman, Dante prefers to be alone. Now we get to how he should be integrated, having settled that Nero shouldn't be the main protag in DMC. Dante should always be the main guy in these games. I mean, Nightwing has never, ever taken over for the majority of Batman comics or Detective comics. Most of the time, the main protag of these comics is Bruce Wayne Batman. You might be asking, what about Nero? Glad you asked. He could get his own spin-off series of games. Let's say they're called Devil May Cry Blue. These titles are gonna be here to hand over more solo Nero adventures, expanding his own character arc. Now that he has more of a devil trigger, with Nico making him more unique weapons, there might not be any point in making any attachable arms. He grew back his own Devil Bringer. He even has 2 of them now, meaning she might be making him guns and swords as time goes on, from parts of demons instead of harvesting demonic souls, and getting lucky finding other guns. Instead, the gear is gonna be made for him by Nico. She could even cook up devil arms that take full advantage of the Devil Bringer's powers, not breaking on impact like the mechanical arms. The base Red Queen Blue Rose Bringer mechanics are still there, but weapon switching is a thing, utilizing man-made devil arms that are meticulously designed for Nero's aggressive playstyle. He could have, I don't know, a chainsaw sword, kusurigama, flaming baseball bats, mace, axe, a scythe. There's a crap ton of different options he could have, and he'd still be different to Dante. Lore-wise, you could have him go on wildly different adventures to the ones the Wacky Woohoo Pizza Man goes on. Instead of entire castles, towers, trees, Nero's adventure could take place in more urban environments, since his shop is basically a truck driven by a crazy southern mechanic chick. We might even see how he goes about them demon hunting jobs differently to Dante. He might even be willing to partner up with other demon hunters in the DMC verse, more than Dante ever did. We might even see his own rogues gallery, who don't give a shit about Sparta. We could get a glimpse of how Nero's relationship with Kyrie could get impacted by devil hunting, inspiring that relationship dynamic by how Peter Parker's relationship with MJ gets affected by his Spider-Man antics, but inspired by the good Spidey runs when he's married, and not whatever bullshit Marvel editorial is forcing down our throats. And yes, Capcom, this is a spin-off series, not the mainline franchise, but DMC Blue might tie into the main series. And again, let me emphasize this. Virgil as a throwaway DLC in a special edition is nothing short of a heinous criminal act. Nero should be the DLC. Or even better, how about a Devil May Cry 6, the Divine Comedy detects your saved data for Devil May Cry Blue, and boom! You get a fully fledged Nero campaign with his own missions that tie into the main Divine Comedy narrative. Or better yet, why not have that as a selectable campaign right from the jump? The save data already gives them Nero upgrades from Blue, and the main DMC series is mainly Dante and Virgil. Nero can jump in on occasion as a playable character. He might be a pretty good supporting character in the main DMC titles. At the end of it all, as a Dante Supremacist, I don't really think Nero is that much of a dead weight. He's a pretty good character in his own right. He has his place in the franchise, but as the main protag, not exactly. Like I said, he's more of DMC's Nightwing, cool enough to have his own spin-off, that ties into the main DMC continuity. He should never, and I mean never ever replace Dante under any circumstance. With that out of the way, we come to the end of this video. What were your guys' thoughts on it? And does Nero have a place in the series? Or should he be axed? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button, Buster Slam style. At 10,000 subscribers, I'll pull off a whole ass Dante combo video in real life wearing this entire cosplay. Trust me, we're pretty damn close. Ring the bell icon to get notified on whenever I upload a new Devil May Cry or other action game video. This has been the Devil Joe signing out.
I'm the one with power.